Welcome everybody to my latest video. So for this video, I thought we'd do a full gameplay on Star Wars Trilogy. So let me just power this on and you'll be able to see the game from start to finish. So here we go. Okay, so here we are, and you get to listen to some commentary while I play this game. Now, I would love to have just put the game up by itself with no commentary. However, there was one problem. The video kept getting yanked for possible copyright infringement. I think that's due to some of the songs or the score that's used on the game. So, hopefully this will work. Now, the funny thing is, when I first tried to record this video, I never got through finishing the recording process, and the reason was because right at the last level, my joystick started giving me problems. Basically, there was some loose wiring on the pots, and the target was just going, crazy. But, oh well. I had to stop that video, fix the joystick, and then, here we are a couple days later. Now, the thing is, I got this cabinet, if I remember correctly, I pretty much got it for $100, and I didn't even know what game it was. I think, if I remember correctly, I know I got it at a storage auction. I went with one of my uncles, kind of like that show Storage Wars. He was bidding on a storage unit. He got to his final price. I saw this thing covered in the back of the unit. I took a hunch, thinking that it could be a cabinet. I offered him, to go another 100 or so, and I would pay the difference, and I would help him, of course, move everything, etc., etc. Ended up winning. I got to keep this item, and yes, it was an arcade cabinet, and it was Star Wars Trilogy. Now, there were two things wrong with this cabinet. One, it was stuck in test mode. And the reason it was stuck in test mode is because the button, basically, the wiring was shot on it. Real simple fix. All I did is I actually pulled the wiring, the wire from the button. I think the actual button was bad. I hooked it up to a regular arcade button, and I was able to get out the test mode. So, the person who had it before, that's probably why they put it in storage, thinking it was going to be an ultra expensive fix. And I fixed it with some electrical tape and an arcade button. The other thing that was wrong with this cab is, although not seen initially, the pots on the joystick had to get replaced. And, that was another fix that I was able to do by myself. And you just look right here, and we're gonna obviously destroy the Death Star. And there we go. Now this is a great game to have. I don't ever intend on selling this cabinet unless someone offers me some insane amount of money. But it's a really fun game. What I like is that you can, you know, just play it and you're done in about 20-25 minutes. Now this Hoth level, this is one of my favorite, or this is probably my favorite level of the game. You know, you're just going around shooting all the Imperial walkers. Now on top of my cabinet, I have a 2-foot tall toy AT-AT. The thing is pretty awesome. Makes a nice display piece, especially on top of the cabinet. And the other thing I have on top of the cabinet is a Star Wars Star Speeder 1000. You know, from like the Disneyland Star Tours ride. That thing's pretty big and it's pretty nice to put on top of the cabinet. The other thing with this game is it's always popular when we have friends and family over, or when we're throwing, you know, little get-togethers, little parties. All the kids love playing this, and during one of our last parties, the husband of one of my wife's friends, he spent probably a good hour just playing this, just over and over and over again. Maybe it wasn't quite that long, but still, he enjoyed this thing tremendously. I remember when I did get this cabinet, I was wondering why the controls were not the same as the original Star Wars Arcade. You know, that original one had the double handle yoke control. And I thought, you know, why did they change it to a single handle joystick airplane type? And it didn't really make sense to me until, you know, I got to this actual first-person shooting part. Okay, so now we got our duel with Boba Fett. I always thought this section of the game was very interesting. If you think about it, you get like a flight simulator, a first-person shooter, and a first-person lightsaber duel, all in one arcade cabinet. You know, it would have been really nice if you could have seen, you know, Jabba the Hutt and Princess Leia in the background. You know, while she's choking him with the chain or something, but... you know, you get what you can get. The Star Speeder Bike. Or the Speeder Bike, sorry. Now here's something that people might not know. I can remember going to Disneyland when Star Tours first came out, and I swear there was an arcade cabinet where you sat on top of a speeder bike. I just have this distinct memory in my head, and no one ever seems to know anything about this. And I know I'm not crazy, but you know, what can I say? Maybe it was just a speeder bike prop, but I definitely remember seeing it. It was a mini speeder bike, and you sat on top of it, and it was in front of a giant screen, and this was in the Starcade. And I remember I was in line for what was it, Space Mountain? I think that's the name of the ride. And when you're in line, there's a certain area where you can view the Starcade. But maybe I'm the only one that remembers it, or maybe I am crazy. And the thing about this level, you gotta be careful when you're aiming at your target, because not only are you moving the target for where you want to shoot, you're also moving the target in the direction you want your speeder bike to go. So if you're not careful, you'll hit a tree. What's nice about this level is all the enemies are not the same. There's like probably 4 or 5 different types of enemies. You know what I would love to have is perhaps in my garage every Star Wars arcade game just lined up in a row. I think that would be so cool. And I know there's probably 3 or 4 different Star Wars arcades. There's many variations. For example, this one, Star Wars Trilogy, it comes in a stand-up cabinet, a sit-down cabinet, and a different type of cabinet with a chair. I would just like to have, you know, all the different games just lined up in a row. But that's never going to happen unless I win the lottery. Because the original arcade cabinet, geez, what does that one go for? About 3,000? And the sit-down version, I'd imagine that goes for around 5,000. Now, the duel with Darth Vader, I think in the entire time I've had this cabinet, I've only defeated him like 2 or 3 times. I always seem to mess up.
Most impressive.
What's cool is you have the Emperor standing in the background. He's not doing much, but it is kind of cool to see him there.
Is with you, but you are not a Jedi yet.
And I came close to defeating Vader, but I just wasn't successful. Now this part right here, we got all these TIE fighters coming at you. I just don't know how you're supposed to win. They're just coming at you left and right.
Thanks. That was too close.
It is pretty cool when you see the Millennium Falcon, you know, coming by you. Look at that, it's starting to get crazy. Going faster, and you keep running into these things. How are you supposed to get by that without taking damage, you know? And there you go. That's the whole game. So, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Until next time.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.